Good evening, everybody. It's on? Yes. It's very nice to see you all, and I would like to thank this magic combination of Hubert, Buddha Media, Siemens, and the Salzburg Festival. We have here the president of the Salzburg Festival, and we are welcoming you. And as you know, in the last decade, the talk moved from talking about materials and performance and execution to experience, and I think that Salzburg is definitely defining the culture experience in the world. It's an amazing event, and we enjoyed seeing this opera on this high-resolution screen, which seeing it in a full daylight, it was quite amazing, with the grand setup of cable car, airplanes, cranes, and the Thames River all together. Really a very exciting mix. First of all, I need to know who was here last year. Raise your hand. So we have about 25%. Since I'm having the habit of recycling my jokes, maybe you should go and see the amazing exhibition which are here, which are new. They were not here last year. My jokes were here last year, but this amazing presentation were not here. I was asked to talk a little bit about the relationship of culture and innovative cities, and you must excuse me, but I will use as an example something which is close to my heart, and this is the city of Tel Aviv. Who from the audience have been in Tel Aviv in the past? Raise your hand. Who was not in Tel Aviv in the past? Hey guys, so maybe instead of listening to me, you go and buy your air ticket and go to Tel Aviv. Don't be misled by the Syrian gas, etc. It's a very vivid, lovely, lively, happy city. Our moderator of the next panel just spent the last weekend with his wife, 2 weekends ago, with his wife and 3 kids in Tel Aviv, and I think that you saw quite a happy city. By the way, I want to tell you, and now we will be very, very happy. My wife, when we had the dinner together, she told me, you saw how beautiful are the kids, how good looking they are? And I said, it's amazing, because look on David, and how come they are so beautiful? No? Just pulling your leg. Well, Tel Aviv was announced by Startup Genome, which is a research company from Silicon Valley, to be the #2 most creative city, according to some kind of measures that they have done. I hope they didn't do it the way we are doing business plan. You know how you do business plan? You start with the results and you work backwards what should be the data. This is called creative reverse financial engineering. But I think they've done it on some objective criteria, and really the holy grail of cities became to be an innovative city, to attract the creative class, as it was defined about a decade ago. And good city planning nowadays is not only about how to optimize transportation and how to do the city planning from a physical point of view, but something which is much more elusive, how to attract the right demography, how to create a city where talent will want to come. There was a major shift in the labor force in the last 15 years. Whereas innovation, until maybe 15 or 20 years ago, was done mainly in large organizations, in public sector, in the military, in the large companies like the General Electrics and the Siemens of the world and the Bell Laboratories, etc. In the last decade, there was a shift, a big shift, and the innovation moved into something which is quite a grassroots phenomena, and these are the independent developers, the geeks, the nerds. And they are not organized like a big company. A big company wants to move from, AT&T moved from New York to mid-United States, so they made an order and 100,000 people moved. Today, if you want to attract the creative people, you have to creative one by one. They can select, the world became global, they can select if they want to work in Tel Aviv, Palo Alto, Berlin, Munich, London, Singapore, wherever. And the competition is on these talents, and the cities which are able to attract the talents are creating an enormous economic benefit. Luckily for us, Tel Aviv is one of these cities. You know who are the other cities, Barcelona in Spain. And in United States, you have Palo Alto, you have Boston, you have Austin. Not too many cities, but the competition is big. And the question is, what attracts the creative class? And what we found that attract the creative class is the following thing, which I already spoke about it last year, but I would like to reiterate it. For the creative class, the workplace, their job is not anymore just an income-driving facility. Until 15, 20 years ago, you went to work, you sacrificed the time from 9 to 5 or from 8 to 4 or from 8 to 6 in order to earn your income. Then you got the income, and with the income, you took care of the family, you bought entertainment. You went, if you could afford, to the Salzburg Festival. If not, you saw the opera in the TV. And this is how you allocated the time. Today, the creative class look on their work as part of their experience, as part of their lifestyle. The workplace is a lifestyle, and it gets into some ridiculous manifestations in Silicon Valley, where they have barbers coming in a van to take care of the employees, and the laundry is being done in the workplace, et cetera, just to provide the workforce with a feeling that is being taken care of and pampered and winning the rating of what is the best working place. So they look at their job as part of the lifestyle. The idea of going into this big storage facilities where you store employees in cubicles and put them in bins from 9 to 5 is not appealing anymore. If you look at the new generation of young geeks or young developers or young technical guys, they want to spend their work time in an urban environment. They want to work in a place where they can go down to a coffee shop. Actually, they want their office to be in the coffee shop. And some of them are sitting in the coffee shop, and with their laptops, you go to Starbucks and you see it all over the place. They want to walk to the workplace. They want to ride bicycles. They want the kindergartens to be close to their home and the office. And here comes the cultural life of a city. Creative people are having a thirst to cultural life in many manifestations. You will find a very high correlation between creative cities or cities which accommodate many creative people and graffiti. You will find high correlation between creative cities and the ability to use bicycle. You will find relation between creative city and board skating, and you will find high correlation between creative cities and cultural institutions, starting from fringe theater and fringe music and fringe bands, up to the most eloquent and elaborate entertainment. In all the creative cities, you will find good university, you will find good concert hall, you will find good museums, you will find good opera. This is part of the definition of their world, and they are big consumers of these services. So if you want to attract the creative class into a city, if you want to turn a city to be a really good place of living, you have to take care of these institutes. You go to San Francisco, you see some of the best cultural places. Same is in New York, same is in Boston, same in Tel Aviv, Barcelona, Berlin, etc. I don't want to offend any city. So defining a vibrant city today is a totally different from the thing that we were used to 20 or 30 years ago. One of the iconic books in city design is the book of architect by the name of Alexander called Patterns of Design. Who is familiar with the book Patterns of Design? Raise your hand. I highly recommend to take the book. And he is in the beginning, in the introduction of the book, is trying to explain to the reader how elusive it is to define experience. And he says the following: you take a leaf in the autumn, a leaf which fell off the tree and lost all the green parts, and you have just this skeleton of the leaf, you know, this very delicate mesh of veins, or I don't know how to call it, the naked leaf. And you look at it and you say, this is so beautiful. A small thing, you put it on your hand, you look and you say, this is so beautiful. Now go and define, why is it beautiful? Why is it beautiful? Anybody can here tell us why orchid is beautiful? You cannot define it, but you know that it's beautiful. And he called it the element which is invisible. The element which is invisible. This is his way to try and explain that good experience, you know a good experience when you see it, but it's very hard to define it. You cannot reduce it into an algorithm. Once you are able to reduce it into an algorithm, the magic is going away. I always like to use as an example Christmas 1878. In Christmas 1878, 25,000 people took a train ride from New York City to a small village in New Jersey called Menlo Park. Why did they do it? Anybody can suggest why 25 people? Yes, please.
They were going to look for Edison.
Good. They went to look for Edison what?
No, I'm guessing he was being a bit of a showman about something.
Good. Good. Now, the last step. You have done so wonderful. A round of applause for this gentleman. Something electrical. What was the magic that they went to see?
I think it was probably the light bulb.
Yeah, it was electric illumination. Can you think the first time you see electric illumination in your life? Can you think about Salzburg, which for 100 years used candles, and then for the first time they put the lights on in the concert hall. Magic. Today, you go to this room, you have here 100 bulbs, you don't even think about it. You will recognize this is a magic only if the light goes off all of the sudden. Anybody can turn off the lights. So if you are able to reduce it to an algorithm, it's become commodity and it loses the magic. So while experience was defined in physical terms and books were written how to, like Mr. Alexander, who put, I think, like 1,000 elements of good city planning, today the subject shift into the soft thing, into the lifestyle, into what the city offered, into the urban mesh of coffee shops, boulevards, walking, your ability to bring or not to bring the dog to work, cycling, the food which is available, and culture. Culture, lot of culture. I don't think you have one creative city without a good cultural phenomena. So when the planners, the city planners of today are sitting on their drawing boards and try to find how to create a great city experience, it's not enough that they will create a wonderful transportation system. It's not enough that they will create green energy. It's not enough that they will create schools. All these things are very important. Without it, it will not work. But they have to be geniuses and to weave together a good way of life for the creative people. Then they will gravitate to these places, and they will turn the cities into great experience. And this is the reason why I suggested that Salzburg Festival will franchise its greatness in the way that we saw this afternoon today here on the grass, not only to London, but to every city who wants it around the world. Thank you very much.